So what is going on, guys? I'm Black Ops Amazing. Welcome back to another video on the channel where it looks like finally Infinity Ward could be doing a major change to Modern Warfare 2 that I think could change, well, not the gameplay, but the the ease, the experience of it overall. And this has been one of the major complaints, I would say, since the beta, since we all first experienced this, and that was the UI, the user interface, just navigating yourself around the menus of Modern Warfare 2, whether you want to play the campaign or multiplayer, trying to find attachments, weapons, which weapons unlock other weapons, which attachments you need to use, how to unlock those, and then first off you need to find them. The UI in Modern Warfare 2 is genuinely the worst I think I've ever seen in a COD game, and it's not bad as in, oh, this is absolutely awful, I can't play it, but it's just unnecessarily confusing, and without knowing the information that I know now, I could have told you guys before this, the UI in this game was clearly designed to work very similar to how a streaming service does. Netflix, Prime, Hulu, they are designed in a specific way to get you to browse through everything, so you can see everything that's available. There are multiple different reasons why that is, because one, forcing you to look through all of the content makes it look like there is a lot of content, and if you believe there's a lot of stuff, you're more than likely to come back to renew your subscription. And if you just look at the UI compared to any other game, even going back to Vanguard or Cold War, the most recent ones, or you can go back even further, BO2, MW3, MW2, the COD interface has always been pretty simple. It's always been easy to find whatever you need, whatever game mode you want, whatever weapon you want, or whatever attachment. The closest game to this, Modern Warfare 2019, the gunsmith on that game was so good, so packed full of stuff, yet simple to use. But the gunsmith on this game is just overcomplicated, and it's unnecessary. Yes, now I've been playing the game a few days, it's a little bit easier. I know where to find things, but I do have to think for a second. Whereas on any other game, I could go, I know straight away where that is, where I need to find it. Yeah, and this isn't just me, I've seen on YouTube and Twitter, this has been one of the major complaints about Modern Warfare 2. Not the gameplay, which is always number one priority, but the user interface, which is really strange. It just isn't good. The first thing I always do day one when I get a new COD is play the campaign, and so when I jumped onto this, I was like, okay, how the hell do I get on the campaign? Because you're met straight away with the multiplayer menu. You have the featured section, and then just below that, the multiplayer section, which is all multiplayer content. So I was like, why am I on the multiplayer loading screen? There's usually a separate one for the campaign, but on this there isn't. Little did I know that you have to scroll down to see the campaign stuff. So you can kind of tell where Infinity Ward's and Activision's priorities were on the multiplayer, the mode that is going to earn them the money. On any other Call of Duty before this, you have a main menu with a button that you click on to go to multiplayer, a separate button that you click on to go to the campaign, and a separate button that you click on to go to the third mode, whether it be zombies or spec ops or whatever. But on this game, straight away you're loaded into the multiplayer menu. That's what you see first, and if you want to play the campaign or anything else, you have to scroll down. And then you go to the worst thing about this, which is the weapons. I guess this is really two different topics, the actual UI and then how you unlock weapons and attachments in itself. They're really two different topics, but they also come into one another, because whilst choosing your weapons is relatively simple, there's nothing out of the ordinary here, how you actually unlock them is weird, because normally on any other Call of Duty, you unlock weapons based on what level you are. So say when you reach level 10, you'll unlock a weapon. When you reach level 15, you'll unlock another. Level 17, another. Level 22, a different one. This time you unlock new weapons, or most of them at least, by unlocking different weapons. And this might be fine if it was a good UI, but it isn't. So for example, if I want to unlock the HCR56 right here, it says I need to level up the STB. So I'm like, okay, what the hell is the STB? Bearing in mind I've been playing this game for just a couple of days, so I don't know what every weapon is. So now I've got to go through all of the weapons list to find the STB. I'm like, is it an assault rifle? Is it a battle rifle? Is it an SMG? Turns out it is an assault rifle. And there is an easier way you can navigate through this, which I'll show you in just a second. But again, it's a complicated system, and if you're new to this game, if you haven't played it for a week, you're probably not going to know this. So you're scrolling through all of the weapons to find out which weapon I need to unlock a different weapon. Like I said, there is a list that actually shows you, but it's nowhere near simple. It's very overcomplicated. And then we come to the attachments, where it's very similar. The gunsmith is alright, there's not really too much difference here between this one and Modern Warfare 2019, but when you come on to unlocking the attachments, you can see here, you get this laser by leveling up the SPR, I think that said. Okay, I've got to go and find that weapon now. Whatever that is, I have no idea. You unlock some of them by just reaching certain levels. It's the same with scopes. A lot of the attachments in this game, I do think this system is kind of dumb anyway. I can see what they were trying to do, get people to use every single weapon in the game. Again, that thing of, if they force you to look at everything, then you think there's a lot of stuff in the game, and you're more likely to pay for bundles or the season pass and stuff like that. And this is what I was talking about here. This is the weapon progression system, which shows you which weapons you need to unlock the weapon that you want. So it does show you directly, but even looking at this, I'm like, what the hell is going on? There is so much on my screen. Nothing's really explained to you. It's like, okay, I guess I've got to use this weapon to get to the... Yeah, it's... Okay, I think I've explained enough how bad this UI is, especially if you're new to the game. Even a week later, I sort of have a general idea where everything is now. That's the example of the UI, and that's without talking about the perk system. But there is some good news, because Ralph Valve over on Twitter, who is a very credible leaker, I've said that quite a few times now if you've stayed up to date on the channel, he's leaked a few things to do with zombies and COD multiplayer in the past. And just before I carry on, I do want to say that take every leak with a grain of salt. You can't be right 100% of the time, so personally, I don't know if he is correct on this, but this is the information he's put out where he said UI/UX overhaul is coming to Modern Warfare 2. And this explains quite a lot, you'll see why in just a second, but on his article, which we'll link down in the description, he said, UI has become a hotbed of frustration and discussion amongst Call of Duty players. Fans of the franchise are left tangled in the web of Infinity Ward's new menu system for their flagship title, Modern Warfare 2. It begins to question what strides are Infinity Ward taking to improve these features. Here's the scoop. Over the last 3 years, seniors, directors, and experienced formers in TV were hired into Infinity Ward's UI/UX department. Despite the expansion of the team and its talents throughout development, it left Call of Duty players lost navigating Modern Warfare 2's obscure UI and UX systems. A muddled mess that goes against the intuitive menu designs established from past Call of Duty titles. User interface and user experience play an importance in the overall game and execution, as it serves as a great tool for vetting the quality of a product. However, due to some internal disparity between departments, complicating instructions and workflows, it has produced the results that many players see now. The issue was pressed internally for discussion, and a few flags were raised prior to release, describing the UI as difficult and invasive to design goals. UI tends to directly impact gameplay, and without emphasis on particular features, it can make or break the experience of the player. With the introduction of Warzone and Call of Duty Mobile, it indicated a slight shift towards Activision's desire to renovate Call of Duty's interface to a more modern, streamlined display for content discovery and store. They sought after that talent and opened up hundreds of UI/UX engineering positions for hire, bringing on mavens from Hulu and Microsoft. Design overhauls are always polarizing and complicated, as generally, the UI/UX team are a forum for several other major departments that include art design, QA, marketing, and more. The results primarily boiled down to time, coordination, and working from home. In conversation with an associate, it was mentioned that some revision is coming to the UI/UX for the future of Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2.0. Seemingly a more piecemeal approach to refining the UI/UX and stages rather than on launch. Several departments continue to work in collaboration to sharpen the UI and other additional interfaces for Season 1 and beyond. So I guess that kind of explains why Modern Warfare 2's user interface is how it is. 1, people working from home. 2, it was a complete design overhaul compared to how COD's user interfaces have been in the past, which have all been relatively simple and the same, you could say, with slight changes here and there. This time, Activision and Infinity Ward wanted a big change to the UI, which resembled more of what they've done to mobile. And the other one being they hired someone that worked at Hulu and Microsoft. And there was a tweet that Ralph put out all the way back in October of 2021 where he said, ex-Hulu UX director William Fowler newly appointed as UI/UX director at Infinity Ward. So that explains why the Modern Warfare 2 interface looks like a streaming service. It's because it was designed by someone who designed the Hulu interface, a streaming service. But what kind of annoys me about this is, and I do see this a lot of the time, when you bring in specialists and they overcomplicate things, and then you see the concepts of what regular players and people have done over on Twitter. There are some really good concepts of what the Modern Warfare 2 UI could look like that have been done by just regular people that look a lot better than what the pros have done. Modern Warfare 2 News posted this, where someone has designed, well, what should be the loading screen for Modern Warfare 2. Like I said earlier, we just have the campaign, multiplayer, and co-op. A very simple interface that we've seen in hundreds of games, not just COD, that isn't in Modern Warfare 2. That should be. Call of Duty News posted some other concepts. This one, for example, I think is really nice. We've got the story or the campaign, multiplayer, and then Warzone, and then survival on the right there, and the store. You don't have multiplayer shoved in your face and the store shoved in your face like it is on Modern Warfare 2. You have the choice and it's simple to navigate what you want. This, again, is really nice. The options not too different from what we have, but the way you can find them, the way everything is on screen, it's simple to see. It's so much better than what we have in Modern Warfare 2, and it just makes me question, why is it overly complicated? Why would they hire someone from a streaming service to do Call of Duty's UI? It's clear if you're doing that, then the UI's gonna end up looking like a streaming service. So yeah, but I guess the good thing is changes do look like they are coming. However, they'll be slow. It will be little changes here and there, nothing major, but hopefully over time as we progress throughout the seasons, it will look different. So anyway, there we go. That is all I have for you for today's video. As always, hopefully you have enjoyed. If you have, drop a like rating. Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest videos on the channel. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, goodbye.